right. What's going on, gang? It's the semi-finals here, and we are going to see a 16 pool build for Solar, opening up the series against ByuN on the bottom right side, who's going for a command center first. Look at that. I was not expecting this. Solar's been doing a few more pool first builds. This is so fascinating because, you know, the other week I was like, hey, isn't it risky not drone scouting at all? ByuN was like, nothing can punish it. Nothing punishes hatchery first. Solar was like, nah, it's fine. You can do 17 hatchery, 17 pool, 17 gas every game. But he's been playing a lot of pool first today. And I'm curious to see what... Oh, it's only a single pair of Zerglings. Okay, so it's just to get the queen out early. I think this is probably partially because Clem has been doing proxy single barracks Reaper. And Solar's like, this way I have the queen earlier and I can be safe against that. Because I know Solar does not want to drone scout. Is he saying he's going to 3-0 ByuN, guys? If anyone can translate it, I'm pretty sure Solar just told ByuN he's going to 3-0 him. I would not be surprised, knowing the banter that these two always have. I'm like, I might not be able to read most of that, but I know what 3-0 means. All right, he's going to see the barracks there. He's going to pull back. 2 gases on the right side. Oh, they were talking about Ragnarok, apparently. Chat says that he said something about Shin Hee-byum. Ragnarok, a.k.a. Shin Hee-byum. Very good player. Very good Zerg. Solar may be copying some of his build orders. Shin's usually ahead of the meta when it comes to figuring out optimal builds. Zergling's going to come in. Marine's going to start a set back. ByuN's reaction is solid. And he has gone for that nice, greedy start. Now, Solar actually kind of got caught out by 2 all-ins against Greener, a just regular GM Terran player from America. Won both of those games by being Solar and just really clutching it. But did get caught out by some very tricky builds that could have potentially taken a map off him, or even 2. ByuN, though, a little bit more predictable. Went double gas to get the factory up, but he pulled workers off gas. For him, it was all about getting the factory as quickly as possible, the reactor, and then pulling off gas so he can still play third command center. This is ByuN optimizing the greediest possible CC first into 3 command centers with a couple of aliens to cover him against that early Zergling speed. And he's even going starport and putting back on gas before queuing both Hellions. That is greed. Now Solar, he's got to keep injecting here. Looks like he's just put a tumor down in the main that will spread around this main base. You really want to get a creep tumor behind here as well, as there is a bit of a sight blocker in the corner of your base. This is one of the only maps we've had in a long time that has what we used to have a lot in very early StarCraft 2, which is basically a gigantic put your Nidus worm here in the main base of your opponent. Like, it's rare that a map is basically shouting at you, Zerg player, put your Nidus over here. They won't see it unless they put something here to see it. I'm pretty sure most players at pro level are going to put a deeper or a pylon behind here to spot it, though. Zergling will run in. Aliens block it for now. All right, Queen's coming forward. Now, there's 3 more Queens building. It was interesting, guys. I had someone earlier today, they were saying, man, I'm trying to do my standard ZvT build, and I can't get the normal, like, 7 or 8 Queens out on time. They're out really late for the normal safety timings. Remember, Lava produces faster now off the hatchery by default. Hatcheries are 300 minerals, so he's already spent 50 more minerals in the hatcheries, and the Queens are still 175 minerals. So there's this weird, interesting balancing act with Zerg right now, where I feel like you kind of need to pause droning a few times and let your lava stagnate to get your Queens out at the safest possible timings. If you want to just not do that, you naturally can drone your bases a bit faster, but of course, you'll be a little slower to get the Queens up with the transfuses. And you can see, I mean, it's already 5.5 minutes. There's you know, pretty deep into the game, and the 8th and 9th Queens are only building now. I do love the early carapace though. Second gas, Lair comes down. Looks like a pretty standard Hydraling Bane build I would expect from Solar. And of course, Aliens rotating. Banshee comes in on the north. It's a cloaked Banshee, so he has committed a fair amount. I think in that scenario with that spore placement, I would have liked him to go behind. Lair was not finished. Cloak was, and he absolutely could have gone around the spore and forced at least a few drones to run away and then done a loop around the back of the base, but he was a little bit worried. Gets a few creep tumors with the Hellions. Of course, they will get immediately replaced. It does reduce the amount of transfuse available, though with only 6 Hellions and 2 Banshees, you're unlikely to find much more there. Ooh, Hellions microing in and out. Banshees are going to go down. He finds the queens in the open. No Spore Crawler over here. He's got to keep transfusing. She's got a lot of energy. He's targeting that high energy queen. Oh, they're out of transfusers. That's the last one. She's going to go down. The Overseer coming in. That will provide detection to reveal these invisible Banshees. But only one queen goes down. The second one escapes. And the Banshee's staying way too deep. He's going to lose both of them. This is sloppy. The Lings distracted him. Oh, my bad for not seeing the Zerglings. ByuN's going to lose one. Will he lose both? And the answer is yes, because he stopped it moving. Oh, he didn't click it far enough away. That Ling run by. It only killed a few Marines. Didn't get much actual damage, but it distracted ByuN. And that's where the damage comes in. And look at this, immediate infestation pit. ByuN, Solar, is asking for a pause right now. He's gone 5 gases. 4th base is coming up. He's already on 73 drones. Do you think he takes this base, guys, or does he expand to the top? I think the bottom base makes a lot more sense. It's a little exposed, but this way, you're kind of expanding in both directions at once. Whereas if he takes this top base, ByuN gets a push on this front path. He isolates both bases with a single push. If you expand to the bottom, you always have that freedom as a Zerg to give one up and only defend the other.
Game resumed.
Ling's hiding in the top right. Some of these Hellions running forwards. All right, what do we got, guys? Factory coming up there. 3 barracks, factory, starport. 4th and 5th barracks just finished their reactors. The armory's coming in at a really good timing. That second factory out front. Looks like ByuN might end up on a 4th base. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people were saying the Ghost is super broken, but its damage is now reduced from 20 to 15 in the live game. And it's crazy the patch is live, by the way. Oh, for those who don't know, this is the map with the Simp Shrine. You'll notice they've got a picture here of Nova standing next to a vulture doing a peace symbol, I think. And there is a whole... This is Twitch chat right here. Grill! It's Grill! You guys are weird. I just want you to know that. YouTube chat's the same. YouTube and Twitch chat. Bunch of weirdos. Friggin' simp crew, man. Anyways, nothing like insulting your entire audience to get the cast started. By the way, let's flip the scoreboard so it corresponds to the player position. Sorry, sometimes I accidentally flip that the wrong way around. Marines are going to move forwards. Ling Bane getting ready for a flank. Solar wants to do it. He's going to go from both sides. It's a very small army out here. ByuN needs to get out of there. Loses the tank. Saves 16 Marines. Second tank is here. This feels like a bit of a half-assed push. Going to try and unload on the low ground to at least make that tank 23 kills. Wow, not bad. And he holds the tower. It's actually not bad at all. If the Hellions were there, they could have really helped out. Bunch more Marine tanks here. 4th Command Center is finished. +2 attack starting after +2 armor. For those who don't know, this is a habit of ByuN. He always selects his engineering bays, presses the hotkey for both upgrades, but he always presses armor first, and he often doesn't have enough money for both, so he ends up late on the more important upgrade. Fixed this once several years ago for a few months, took a small break from the game, and immediately went back to his old bad habit. You love to see it. Even the best players in the world have those weird little mistakes that crop up here and there. Such a fast-paced game, so hard to do it. I do love that the Overlord is part of the Simp crew, by the way. Like, you can see the Overlord here as well. Major Ling Bane is there. Sorry, guys, misclick. There's a lot of Hydras coming in with Groove Spines. They don't have the movement speed upgrade just yet. The attack up top gets jumped on. ByuN misclicks his pickup. We are on the Korean server, guys, now. Now that this is not the PTR, these guys are no longer playing with lag like they are in the last few weeks. It's kind of nice to see them be able to micro better, and yet, funnily enough, ByuN making a few more mistakes than he normally was doing when he was playing with 130, 140 ping. 5th Command Center does go down, though. Solar's letting him get to late game. I'd say that's perfectly fine, especially when he's not building tanks constantly. I think he really struggles. I think ByuN can only really survive late game against Solar when he's non-stop pumping siege tanks. And that's because Solar is just so slow to go towards Broodlords to counter that. Marines with the medevacs and the mines easily clean this up. Bit of creep up here. Cleaning that creep is so important. Got to keep the Zerg map control back. The vision the creep gives. You see Solar's vision, guys. It's so much vision, so much map control, and the movement speed buff on creep is huge. I mean, his units are all melee except for the Hydras. It's all about closing the distance before the Terran gun you down. That movement speed boost is going to be absolutely massive. Good hot pickups, though. The lack of mobile anti-air, of course, always hurts Zerg. They can't really chase the medevacs down until now. But even then, it's only one Viper. One Viper can either drop Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs that does really good area damage to enemy air units over 7 seconds, or he can abduct these medevacs, yoink them into the Hydras and shoot them down. But with only one Viper, that's not really going to put a timer on these drops. It's only going to very slowly start to work them down. Of course, if he catches them on the edge, a few abducts here could be crazy. He's looking for him. Hasn't seen him. He sees him now. He sees him now. If he abducts these, this is massive. Abduct could be huge, but he gets too far away, so he's going to go for the Parasitic Bomb. Ah, the bees! The bees, man! I don't think it kills any of them, but it's going to get them incredibly damaged. Oh, and the Spore Crawl is going to finish them off! One goes down, filled with Marines. One gets past, but it's like one shot from death. Marauders, Marines, and Hellbats are on the front lines. This drop's going to be going down to one Queen shot, I believe. If the Queen just clicks on that medevac, it will go down. And indeed it will. The Marines fall there. ByuN not getting great value. Units lost tab. Still in Terran favor, but it's kind of meant to be in Terran favor, so that is a surprise to nobody. 2 tanks building at a time, +2 vehicle weapons, vehicle armor, as well as +1 vehicle weapon. So double armory is really cute. Actually, guys, he's got triple armory. Guys, look at this. He's got 3 armories. What? ByuN? Clicking buttons very quickly, but this seems like an overinvestment for a guy who's not really got a crazy orbital count just yet. He's about to hit 6 orbital command centers. We'll talk about what those do in a moment, as I know we've got a lot of people over from Age of Empires not as familiar with StarCraft, so we're going to try and explain what those orbitals do when the game slows down, but I think Solar's going to try and overwhelm him. Oh, here we go. That base is nearly impossible to defend. He's got nothing here. It's just a planetary fortress on its own. A planetary cannot lift off. And Ling's running on the right at the same time, clearing some siege tanks over there. Drops a few blinding clouds with the Vipers. The Hydras, the Lings, the Banes are going to clear this base and then retreat. The Lings and Hydras did some good damage on the other side as well. Great fight for Solar. So let's talk about the late game in ZvT, guys. Notice the units lost tab is within 1,000. That's really good for Zerg. Orbital Command Center. Basically, you upgrade your command centers to get this energy. They can use that to drop mules or to scan. Scan can be used anywhere on the map to get vision for about 10-15 seconds. It is an insanely good spell. When you get enough orbital command centers, you essentially have map hacks. It is one of the most broken mechanics in StarCraft 2, but it's incredibly expensive to get there. And this is why ByuN is just massing command centers. You can also use that energy to drop mules, which you can see these golden miners. They are going to mine much quicker than a worker, but they have a timed lag. Here we go. Mass Hydraling Bane attack on the left side comes in. The tanks, the Widow Mines, and the Bio getting pushed back right now, trying to hold on. The Hydra's gunning down so much, but the Planetary survives, the SCVs survive, and that's what's most important. He's going to retreat through the Widow Mines, but they'll only fire on 1 or 2 Zerglings. Nothing too scary there. So I think, like I was talking about the command centers, right, guys? So you can also drop mules. So in the late game, right now you're at 80 workers out of 120 army supply potential, 80 worker supply. Zerg needs that army worker supply ratio for most of the game. So does Protoss. Terran can lower this worker count once they get enough orbital command centers down as low as 30 or 40, and instead have a much bigger standing army and map hacks, and just use mules to mine the minerals instead to replace all those SCVs. Mules cannot mine gas. You still need SCVs to mine gas. But that is the point where Terran becomes borderline unstoppable, but it's still much deeper in the game. Beautiful blinding cloud, stopping these units from firing in the green. It brings them down to melee range, taking away Terran's biggest advantage, which is their ranged fire output. And he didn't repair his planetary. Zerglings killing the planetary. Lurkers on the right side clearing this base. ByuN is on the ropes right now, and I think Solar's just doing way too much damage. This is going to get out of control. ByuN, he's already down like 3-4 bases, which you're okay to be down, but you need to be efficient. You need to defend the lesser base count you have as efficiently as possible. Zerg can afford to trade 10, 20, maybe even 30,000 resources worse the longer this game goes. Right now, this is pretty close to 1-to-1 ratio, right? It's less than 2,000 resources between them. Terran is meant to be much more efficient, stay in a more compact base layout, very slowly creep forward, take one base at a time, and win through that extreme efficiency. Ghosts are now coming out. Ghosts have been buffed, but they're way more expensive, and their snipes cost a lot of energy as well. I think this is a good call. Lift the command center. You never want to make this into a planetary until much later in this game. There's one burrowed Zergling blocking the command center from landing now. Scan goes down on the left. He's going to need to scan again to clear this Zergling. There we go. Massling Bane Hydra on the right side. +3 melee, +3 range. Flyer attacks on the way as well. ByuN tank is there. Widowmine's firing on the Zerglings. The SCVs are going to be protected. Right side getting busted though. So many Banelings getting on top. The tanks aren't all sieged up. The Vipers have been excellent so far. Somehow, it's mostly buildings that die and not that many SCVs. We've seen ByuN make comebacks from worse situations before. Will he be able to do it again? I have no idea. Bio Ghost moving down here. Tanks are firing. Those SCVs on that base looking incredibly vulnerable. Ooh, okay. Hydroling coming in. Command Center lifts. 13 SCVs go down. As long as the Command Center survives, it's not the end of the world, but ByuN's got to start making Solar pay a price. He's going to counterattack up north. Clears a Nidus Worm. These Lurkers thinking about running in on this base. This base is completely naked. This is ByuN just hoping Solar's not looking and he can steal some minerals. Viper flies over the turret. Huge misclick there for Solar, but he's going to come in with another big wave of ground. I mean, actually, it's not even a big wave. It's only a handful of units, but this base is not defended. He needs to repair that base. The SCVs and the mules, they're not quite repairing it in time. Yes, they are. Never mind. He saves it. The Marines up top run into the Lurkers. ByuN feeling the chaos right now, feeling the pain. This is a really stressful moment. Solar's not got as big of a bank as I thought. He's mining the forward gold base. He's never going to be able to mine this one. I do think Solar should steal this base and start mining it, because you know ByuN's whole game plan is just sit here, turtle up for the next 20 minutes, withstand the storm, and eventually Solar will run out of money. There's now a 6,000 resource difference between the two. Another beautiful Lurker attack. Big attack on the left at the same time. Very hard to deal with both at once. The Banelings very clumped. They get a lot of SCVs. Command Center does survive, but you can see that SCV damage is very painful. The Lurkers dodging these lib zones. 20 workers have gone down. Hydras lunge back in and kill the Command Center while he's looking at the north. Beautiful play. Solar is all over ByuN right now. ByuN just can't quite keep up. And it's so hard to cover both sides. It's so difficult. This planetary here is cute. Ideally, that would be a bit further out. ByuN will snipe a base potentially here with his counterattack. There's so many Hydras, maybe too many. 21 Hydras coming in from both sides. They clean up the Widowmine, start to run forwards. There's Zerglings in front, not many Banelings, but does he really need them? Lurkers on the right side doing some good damage. Hydras, a few of them get sniped. The rest do fall back. Finally, those Lurkers do get pushed back by the Liberators on the right as well. If ByuN manages to bring this back, I will be so impressed. One mistake where he loses his army, it's lights out, but 16 siege tanks with 2-2 is really helping. He never got the money to make 3-3 on those siege tanks, but 2-2 upgrades on your tanks is already very good. A lot of players will never get that many upgrades in this matchup. Oh no! Single Lurker there. Where's the scan? ByuN is just so overwhelmed. He's not watching. Finally scans, but not before another bunch of workers go down. He's lost 77 SCVs. Solar's only lost 6 drones this game. This is crazy. They've played a lot of these late games recently. Solar is happy to play them usually, but there has been a few late game comebacks. There was that Winter Madness Game 5, where ByuN was dead to rights and then brought it back. Solar's got to have that game running through his mind. Ghosts and tanks in a massive spready. Wow, but the SCVs will go down on that base, and I think that's usually enough damage for Zerg. 21 more workers going down is so painful. The creep is everywhere. Look at this. He doesn't even have enough units to clear the creep. There's so many creep tumors giving vision, giving movement speed. I mean, this is... You're trying to fight against an absolute cancer of creep tumors. There's still active ones on the front lines. The queens are replacing them as they go down as well. And Greatest Spy has just kicked in. I always talk about how Solar's way too late to go Broodlords. Remember, there's only 9 Ghost guys. They only get 2 snipes at max energy. A lot of these Ghosts do not have max energy. So he's actually got like 18 snipes, which means if you make 15 Broodlords right now, he literally just cannot snipe them all. He's only got 6 Marines that shoot up. The Ghosts are never going to get in range of the Broodlords with their regular attack. I think you can win this with the Broodlord swap. Will he even need to, though? Solar once again ransacks that mineral line, absolutely smashes it, and one has to wonder, guys, should he have built an engineering bay here and here? Should he have broken these rocks down? Should he have his defensive position further forward to actually protect this base? Because these SCVs, they're just dying way too easily. 28 workers only remaining for ByuN. His economy's almost gone. Solar is still at 90 drones, and he's just looking like he's all over it. These queens are hilarious, by the way. Gonna try and move in and breach with the queens. They are incredibly slow off creep. And they do, of course, retreat to the creep where they're actually somewhat mobile. Here we go. Ghosts and Marauders pulling back in that medevac. Tank position does hold this time. He's got to defend up here. Can't let Solus spread into this massive arc. He's got to gun him down as he comes up the ramps and through the choke points. If ByuN brings this game back, oof, that would be absolutely crazy. But notice Infestors are now coming out. Still no Broodlords. Seems like a no-brainer to go Broods in this sort of game. It's been mass tank for a while, but this has been Solar's blind spot against ByuN for years now. It's a refusal to go Broodlords against mass tank. And when you're this good with Hydraling Bane, you can see why he has that blind spot. It's hard to be blind to an easy win condition when you're this good with Hydraling Bane. He's so good with Hydraling Bane Viper that he does not care about that blind spot at all. He's like, I'll just kill you with Hydraling Bane. I have such a high success rate with this, I don't really need to play the Broodlords. And oh, as I say it, 10 Corruptors on the way. I think it's all about having a very critical mass of them, though. There's only 6 Ghosts. Most of them just spawned. Yeah, even 10 Broodlords should finish this game. The tanks will do a ton of friendly fire. Broodlords, of course, are a ranged flying siege unit. They will throw their babies into action and force your units to splash yourselves. Your siege tanks will accidentally damage your own units while killing those broodlings, and those broodlords will just keep throwing new broodlings from far away. There is an Ewok on the top of this pillar in the middle of this battlefield just jamming out, guys. That is absolutely wild. I don't know why that's the first time I noticed this. He's just hanging out in the middle of the battle, and he's cheering ByuN on. He's like, get him! Get the dirty Zerg, man! You can do it, ByuN! I believe, buddy! I believe! But of course, anyone who can see the numbers in this game does not believe. ByuN is getting overrun. Parasitic Bomb, massive damage! The Power Bomb on the medevacs. ByuN tries to spread, but it's already done so much, peppering those medevacs down, getting them all so wounded. He can't afford to repair those right now. ByuN is down 60 supply. Somehow Solar's mineral bank is not that high, but he's taken this base. He's transferred workers there, up here as well, and he's still got more than enough minerals per minute. You can see the income tab right now. The Lings are breaching the natural. In the late game, when Terran's really focused on defending their edge bases, that's usually when the production becomes vulnerable, and just shoving units up the middle often finds what was earlier in the game a much more defended position becomes the most vulnerable. Depots get taken down, Lings are in, and of course the Broodlords find the gold base. They're going to push forwards. Ghosts come forward, they cloak, they snipe. They will take out a bunch of the Broodlords, but remember, that's almost all their energy gone, and then there is no counter to the Broodlords. They can just A-move their way to victory right now. There's Lings in the back of the main everywhere. Marines of ByuN trying desperately to defend this. The Broodlords coming forwards. The tanks have to unsiege. They know they'll do more friendly fire than anything else now that the Broodlords are here, and these Broodlings, they only have a timed life, but they are just so annoying because they're going to keep on getting on your siege tanks. They've been nerfed over the years. Broodlings used to have faster attack speed. They used to live for longer. They used to attack faster, move faster, live longer. They've been nerfed many times, but the Broodlord recently was changed, so it does shoot immediately when it gets in range of the opponents, whereas it used to take a little while to charge up its first shot. So it's a little bit stronger as of the previous patch, but still, of course, the Broodlings themselves a bit weaker. But when you're up against mass tank, forcing them to unsiege is half of the battle. Solar wins game 1. All right, guys, nice game 1 for Solar. Here we are into game 2. And we are going to be seeing a Extractor Trick into 13 Overlord standard opening. 12 Depot, of course, for ByuN, or 11 Depot, I should say. Usually it's 11 Depot into 14 Barracks, 14 Gas. And I think Solar has been going a lot of pool first today. I feel like you'll go hatch first this game, though. 16 pool or 16 hatch, we'll find out in a moment. 14 racks goes down, 14 gas, so standard Terran opening. And Zerg, Solar, going to go, yeah, 16 hatchery. I think he probably goes 15 pool. Previously, he was doing like 16 hatch into 17 pool. But that is exceptionally greedy. And no, he's still building a drone. Does he build another? He's about to hit 50 minerals. He's thinking about it. He's got that. He's going to go 17 pool. Okay, I think it's because he saw ByuN go command center first in the previous game. ByuN, I think, has been way too public with his feeling that you can't do any damage to Zerg early game. Even though we've seen guys like Clem get a lot of respect out of Zerg players with their openings, with proxy single barracks Reaper and a few things like that. I think I do think that ByuN is struggling a little bit. I think ByuN is struggling a little bit in terms of unpredictability. He is a bit too defensive on this patch, in my opinion. We saw Solar almost die to a one-base battle cruiser earlier today, which was fun. If only Greener teleported to the correct base. It was a 4-player map, and he only scouted one location, and then he just coin flipped the BC teleport. It was Kind of tragic, but hilarious. This is a 1 Rax expand. So you see the command center goes down on, I think is that 19 or 18? 18, 19 supply, something like that. It's just going to be Reaper Marine. Second depot goes down. Now, of course, big change from the PTR. You don't get +2 supply from the orbital. So Terran does have to squeeze this depot in a bit earlier, which is very nice. I mean, the first version of the PTR, having that bug in it, made Terran builds way too strong in the opening. Made their builds much easier, but it also gave Terrans a false idea of what their openings should look like with the 8 worker start, because they were able to delay that depot just a bit later to what they really should have had to do. Whereas now you have to go depot before factory, just like on 12 workers. Third hatchery on the right side. So pretty quick third hatchery. Doesn't want to get it blocked. Has Solar pulled off gas? Yeah, pulls off gas. Goes Ling speed. So 2 queens. Third hatchery into Ling speed. And trying to drone up. He's also got that Overlord coming out as well. Cool opening for Solar. Obviously, he's going to stack a little bit of lava here. Reaper unable to cancel the creep tumor. And once again, 3rd CC for ByuN. ByuN really favoring that 3 CC versus Zerg. If there was ever a time to catch people off with oddball timings, I really thought early on this patch, you'd see ByuN doing like CC first into 3 Rax timings, just 1 Rax expand with 4 Marines to deny Overlords into 3, 4, 5 Barracks Marine SCV pools. Solar barely held one of those earlier today against Greener as well. So Solar's defense was on point, but also that's like a 1500 MMR difference matchup, so it's not exactly one where Green Earth's meant to make Solar sweat as much as he did. Stim's on the way. So we will see a 2nd and 3rd barracks in a moment. I don't think ByuN's too big on the double engineering bay before 2nd and 3rd barracks. That's the kind of Maru ultimate greed upgrade style. It's very risky. This map, of course, has a lot of, I think, little kind of references to Return of the Jedi, guys. You got the Moopies here with a broken vulture in the log trap. There's also a ruined siege tank that they've managed to somehow burn down, fighting against the dirty Terran Empire. Ooh, Alien Reaper gonna get in here. Oh my lord, is he actually gonna find damage? This could be really bad for ByuN. But he gets in, gets out, only loses a Reaper. It's a lot of lost mining time. Only got a few Zerglings, but as long as you repair these Hellions, I think that's okay. If he lost all the Hellions with no drone kills, it would have been rough. Overlord's gonna go down. Hellions rotating here. They're already very fragile though. He's got to be careful. Queens are guarding the creep tumors. Really nice vision for Solar. Look at Solar's setup. Zergling here as well. Overlords all around his bases, but they're in a pretty tight pattern. So if a Viking comes out, it's not like he's going to lose many. Best thing about this map, guys, is no longer is the main base a giant puddle. Do you guys remember the first version of this map? All the SCVs were underwater. They were like neck deep in water while they were mining. The whole main base was like weirdly shiny and reflective because of that as well, because it was just an entire puddle. Laz started up. 2 more gases are on the way. So it's going to be 5 gas, double upgrades. 4th base on the left. Super just solid for Solar. For those who are wondering, guys, are you expecting big innovations from Solar on this patch? So even on previous patches, guys, Solar's biggest weakness in this matchup is he basically is the best defensive ZvT player in the world. And his weakness is that he does the same thing almost every game. Once in a best of 5, he'll do an all-in, a Ling Flood or a Bane Bust or something. Every other game, it's slight variations of try to get to 90 drone Hive Tech 5 base. And that's when he starts playing the game. Solar basically just, he said, I am the best player in the world at just getting to that defensive position, absorbing punch after punch. Hive Tech is when I play the game. He just tries to survive to late game, and then he becomes a god there. I don't expect him to do anything except look to defend ByuN's attacks and then overwhelm him in the late game. But Banelings aren't quite ready. The Marines and the Hellions doing pretty decently. 1-1 and shields are just slightly late, though. Dude, if he had those upgrades already, that would have been so much scarier. As it is, he picks off a few units, doesn't really lose anything, which is okay. Unfortunately, he only had 1 medevac, which of course is a pretty big mistake. So he knew he couldn't pick up his Marines if he got in trouble, and that's part of why he had to be a bit more cautious there. This allows Solar to get away with now a 5th base on the front as well. Hydroden coming in, Bane Speed on the way. And of course, the second factory goes for a tech lab. So he's building Widow Mines in the main base. Tanks will be building out of the 3rd. And that means the 4th command center is pretty likely to come in soon as well. Yeah, only a 5th gas. When he gets 400 minerals free, he will go for that 4th CC. Nice drop on the left, distracting. Trying to get Solar reacting to him. But drop gets shut down. That's going to get cleaned up. Baneling speed kicks in. ByuN, oh god, he's a bit deep. He's way too deep. Oh, the Widow Mine! Clears a lot of Zerglings. Guns down a lot of Marines as well. There's one of those Widow Mines where like so many things died on both sides. I don't even know who that favored. I imagine it is Solar though. Queens are going to come forward again, and ByuN just overcommitting here. Feels like ByuN's not on his A game in terms of his micro and his timings. I think flying in with only 1 medevac in the first attack probably tilted him. And now ByuN basically just has to say, look, I'm probably dead in this game. I'm miles behind. I need to get desperate. Mass Marine, multi-drop, go, go, go. I wouldn't be surprised if he builds 3 reactors on these. Plays nothing but Marine medevac, Widow Mine tank for the rest of this game. Doesn't have a Marauder or a Ghost transition. Basically plays it as a very delayed tempo play and hopes to just multi-drop and dive and kind of like look for the big mistake for Solar. It's not like he's got like a solid option from here. He could also just turtle up to late game, but I don't know. I feel like usually ByuN versus Solar, he likes that Mass Marine medevac comeback play. Might be a bit too late on these barracks though, but yeah, 3 reactors. I told you guys. I told you guys this is ByuN's go-to. Solar, heavily favored, but oh, the Widow Mines get caught. The Widow Mines get all caught. They don't clear much at all. Great Widow Mine snag there for Solar. Yeah, oh, he just lost his drop. ByuN taps out. Yeah, it was a bit too late for the Mass Marine play anyway, guys. If you want to watch what happened. Flies in here. And oh, and then he F2s at home over the Hydra and the Queen. Oh no, he panic F2'd and lost both drops. GG's. Sloppy day for ByuN, man. Solar taking control. All right, guys. Solar in the bottom right side of the map. This time we're actually casting from the very start of the game. Let's just see drones for him to start. And of course, SCVs for ByuN. Doubling those workers up a little bit more important, I'd say, on these close patches. ByuN there corrects that one. Trying to get that efficiency up as quickly as possible. As you do start with less work, it's just going to be a little bit more important. And you're going to see Solar do the standard thing. All pros are doing this. Extractor trick to get to 13 supply. And usually you'll just build an Overlord there. You can go 13 hatchery. There is a 13-13 build, but it's, I think, more of a safety thing for ZvZ if you're worried about like a 11 pool 10 gas all in or something like that. Hey guys, when is Maestro's 2? I want to see Cyril play this. I believe it's this coming weekend. I heard someone in my chat said that apparently they're just going to play on the live version of the game. I thought they would probably just go and play a modded version of the game. And figuring, oh, we don't want our finals to be on such like a crazy new set of changes that are still in flux. But I'm not sure. Just heard a rumor that they were just going to play on the live version. Let's see how it goes. Command Center does go up in the natural. That's Command Center first for ByuN on 15 supply. So 15 Command Center. Now, I think he cut SCVs to do that. And you might wonder, why would he do that? I think part of the reason with the Command Center first is you want to allow your Command Center to kick in early enough that it unblocks you from building workers. So you do a bit of cutting workers production early to get it started fast enough that you can then do the rest of your build without needing that second depot. And that's a really clever way of doing things. So I love the way ByuN's adjusting that build. Little tight, small cuts of SCV production here and there to try and optimize for that, to get the value. You still get 13 supply from a Command Center or Nexus, which is massive. I think with the 8 worker start, they easily could have dropped that down to 12. You could even make the argument for 11. It would just make the opening very awkward. One of the big cool reasons to change to 8 worker start that I've talked about over the years is the lower the worker count, the less supply you give packed in with the bases for free. So the other way you could do that is just make the expansions for each faction a little bit more expensive, of course, but I think if you do lower the worker count a bit more, the more you lower the supply on those is a nice way to try and make expanding a little bit more costly, get a little bit less bonus value with your expanding. Just one of the things that happened with the 12 worker start, but so many things interacting. It's kind of like there's just so much in this patch that I barely can talk about or even process all the different changes interacting with each other at the same time. Reactor and factory are on the way. It's a double gas build, so this is a good Zergling scout to realize, oh, okay, you're going to be a bit more tech heavy. It's cross-map Old Sun Temple, though, which is just heavily Zerg favored. Even if it's like, let's say Solar was up here. Solar can expand to the bottom side of the map, and it's like hard for Terran as you get spread out, because like, where do you take your third? Probably towards the Zerg. Third there, mine these minerals out, take your fourth, and like kind of push towards the Zerg. But even then, Zerg counterattacks looping through the watchtower would be really hard to deal with. Now, in this case, pushing through the middle of this map, cross map, oh god. I think this is the sort of map where your bases get so spread out. Late game cross map has got to be so Zerg favored and so Mutalisk favored. So ByuN going into this down 0-2. If there was ever a map to do a Hellbat timing, if there was ever a map to play battle mech with like battle cruisers, oof, this might be it, man. He does drop a third command center after having his double gas scouted. See what he does. Thank you so much, Anchor Point, Willie Nelson's Headman, Pablo Honey, Crazy Duck, and McPatchy for supporting the tournament. If you guys want to support the tournament more so, you can help us fill that PiGosaur gold bar for today, !tip in the Twitch chat, or if you guys scroll up the YouTube chat, there was a link I think I chucked in there earlier. Thank you, everyone. Massive thanks to Zogger, Somicron, and Shampoosh, who already helped us out in a big way there. Cover the prize pool for today. Viking is on the way for that starport. That's going to clear any air units. This is a Mutalisk build. Guys, it's two base Mutalisk. The third base only just started. Ooh, great map to play mutas on. But also a great map to, I think, do a big Marine Hellbat timing, specifically because you know Zerg wants to play Mutalisks here. Maybe catch him when the mutas are just coming out. Doesn't look like that's the build, though, that ByuN's focusing on as he goes double engineering bay. After his 3 barracks, looks like an incredibly standard setup. The only difference is he's made one Viking, and otherwise is just macroing up to ByuN. And maybe a ByuN parade push could be very hard for Solar to deal with. I think my fear for ByuN is Mutiling Bane's a very micro-centric matchup, and ByuN's micro has looked a little off today. It's hard for me to tell because, don't get me wrong, if Zerg just has too many units, to the point where they're crushingly overwhelming, it's very hard to have a good fight and to look like you have good micro. Momentum's so big in this matchup. So I think there's a decent argument. I don't know, you know. Sorry, I'm thinking too much about how negative people are always just making dumb comments no matter what. I'm not going to dodge that. I shouldn't even try to, you know. Oh, nice Spore trick. Can you get another one? Oh, okay, the Viking gets 2 kills. Not bad, not bad. So I was going to say, basically, there's an argument that because the lava production has been buffed, that maybe Zerg's just been a bit further ahead than normal, and that's why Solar's crushing the fight so hard. But, I mean, that doesn't really add up. If you think about it, Solar was caught off on Rainfall. There was just only one medevac, and ByuN looked a bit afraid to commit. ByuN also F2'd his medevacs a few times into things. His drops weren't finding good damage. He was really struggling to kind of find the correct engagements, but he was also struggling to commit to his timings. His 1-1 and his shields weren't done for his first attack. You know, there's a few things that were kind of awkward in there. I'm really hoping ByuN can just shut down the Muta harass, lock down his defense, and get in control of this. Because he knows what's happening with the late third. He's blind built turrets. He's got Marines here. He's got Widow Mines building. Really hoping ByuN can bring this series back and make this a really hard-fought one. I think Grok should make the next patch. Thank you, Bruno, for the biddies. Spiffy Griffy as well. Not quite spiffing Brit. Spiffy Griffy. Thanks for the Prime sub, brother. How you doing, man? Pig, why don't they just hire Patches to make the next patch? His name is literally Patches. On that note, what do you guys think of people giving themselves gamer names that are just dogs' names? Because Patches is not a human name. That's a dog name. Let's be real. Patches, I love you, but you did give yourself a dog name. Like, no shade. It's just, I'm just stating facts, okay? Biomine moving on to creep right now. Lingbane is gathering. Baneling speed is there. The Mutalisks are going to come home. You got to be really careful pushing. You are so far into Zerg territory as ByuN. You got to be careful. That's coming from Pig. ... Yeah, it's coming from Pig. That's a pig's. That's a pig. It's a pig's name. I watched Babe. He calls him Pig. Great film, Babe. It's not a dog's name. It's a pig's name. Evo chambers are coming down now. Solar's got his 4th base on the right. Oh, did he get a muta? He got the SCV, right, guys? He did. Didn't lose a mutalisk. SCV has to come over to rebuild that 4th. I like that ByuN's controlling the middle. Both players are no doubt casting their minds back to Whirlwind. Early Legacy of the Void. We had Whirlwind as a map. This is very Whirlwind coded, this map. Big 4-player map. We had it in Heart of the Swarm. They brought it back in early Legacy in, I want to say 2016. I think it was part of the Dream Pool, right? I think late 2016 after BlizzCon, was it? Something like that. Maybe early 2017. There was some time around then where we were playing Whirlwind again, and it's a big map. Getting out to these corners is really, really hard to protect those expansions. But it can also be hard for a Zerg to protect them. If you ever lose all your mutas or anything, you get off the mutas. Drops can sneak in and gun down your drones. Solar's not had the crazy worker advantage he normally does because he's got the mutas out. And his mutas haven't found big damage. But now he's built the worker advantage. Now he's got the economic momentum. Is ByuN well set up enough to not care? He's got nothing to defend. Oh, there we go. He's got enough Marines. He should be okay. Oh, nice deny on a hatchery down here as well. The mutas are out of position, so the drop's able to come in freely. Really well done. So in late game, I often end up with like 5 turrets and 3 Widow Mines on the edge of my main because I don't like them diving in with the mutas. Dude, this is a crazy push. Oh my god, ByuN just having 0 chill. Oh, his Widow Mines do crazy friendly fire. He does hot pickup and tries to drop down here, using the safety of this mineral wall and these rocks to buy time. These Marines coming in on the south as well. ByuN does not want to accept a defensive position. He's going to trade the Marines here. He gets 2. Can he get a 3rd? He gets 3 Mutalisks for that drop. Of course, a full dropship, guys. 8 Marines is, I want to say 400 minerals. Medevacs 100. So 600 resources for 600. Technically, that isn't exactly even trade for resources because mutas are 100 each. So 8 Marines in a medevac. If they kill 3 Mutalisks, it's a 50-50 trade. 50-50 trades tend to favor Zerg long-term, though. Marines are going to pick up there. You could tell he's gotten used to using that load nearby units button. ByuN's definitely added that mechanic in as part of his repertoire. New in this patch, the load nearby units button on all transports for every race. Marines moving forward. It's a really good map control for ByuN. I gotta say, he's not letting Solar get any good fights, and Solar's not got +2 melee yet. The turrets not getting repaired is a real problem. The Marines are here, but I feel like he should have been able to deal with that. Oh, he turns and fights! Mad Lad Solar punishing ByuN there. ByuN thought that would be fine, but not repairing the turrets, not having enough Marines. He's sending enough Marines over now to defend, but you can see that Mutalisk count's out of control. There are 2 Widow Mines. They could do big damage. Oh, one of them does get a good shot. Good splashy, huge damage there on those Mutalisks. No turrets have been rebuilt, though, and ByuN has to back away from the front. Units lost time 2,300 in ByuN's favor. He's kept Solar on 4 base, which is incredible on such a big map. I'm so impressed with how well ByuN is covering such vast spaces. Zerg should be wildly favored in these games. I think the big mistake Solar's making is one I always talk about with Mutalisks. Recent years, Mutalisk plays become more rare, and players who play Mutaling Bane forget that Mutaling Bane can counterattack with the ground and not just the air. Oh, leaving his Thor behind. Really, really expensive mistake there for ByuN, and he leaves the other one behind as well. You can tell he's not quite used to that new pick up nearby units command. Still adjusting to it, and he's a bit... Sometimes he thinks it's going to pick up and it doesn't quite get them. Evan says, I wish there was a hotkey to turn on autocast without clicking. There is. It's Alt plus whatever your hotkey is. Will toggle that. A lot of people don't know that. Or is that only for repair? I think that works for all abilities, doesn't it? Nice pickup and boost to the left side. Lings and Mutas chasing them down. Marines barely able to unload, and they get immediately slaughtered. ByuN may have to go home and lick his wounds for a minute here. Oof. Alright, Mutalisk going to the left side as well. 4 turrets are there, no high-sec auto-tracking, no building upgrades. Big fight on the right, the Marines getting jumped on. Oh, ByuN tries to pick up and get out of there. The Marines are just getting distracted. Widow Mines do get some good shots. The Mutas taking some splash damage, but here comes the Ling Bane. These SCVs need to run. They need to run right now. There's no way he can hold this position. ByuN is being spread too thin. Most of his units are in production. They're not available on the front. Somehow, no Banelings go into the mineral line. Can ByuN hold on the front? Well, somehow only 10 SCVs went down. He's got a drop on the other side that does deny mining. Got to focus the mutas. There's only one thing to do here, and that's focus the Mutalisks or pick up and boost away. He's going to pick up and boost away. The Mutalisks won't be able to fight that on their own without a few losses at least, but no, good focus fire. Takes out the medevac with the units inside. And it looks like Solar, calm, patience has paid off. He's still only on 4 bases mining, but now the 5th resumes mining. 6th base is getting workers transferred to it. Now, of course, you can stay on less bases for longer with the 1100 light mineral patches, but even ByuN's natural starting to get awfully low. 3rd base starting to look a little light on some of these patches. Needs to keep this 4th and 5th base established, and I kind of wish he didn't expand to both sides. I really wish he expanded to this base and then this base and just pushed that south side more. But having no bases in the middle really favors Zerg. Expansions all around the edges, much better for Zerg. Expansions through the middle, much better for Terran, because then they can expand on their push path and defend with their attack, which is what they want to do. Ultraling Bane's going to be moving in here. Solar just smacking ByuN down in Game 1 and Game 2. And even though ByuN has played such a good Game 3 for the first 10 minutes, you can see that now Solar's got Ultras out. He's kind of in control of the matchup. That's going to be hard for ByuN to fight back from here. He doesn't have the massive orbitals. He's only got 4 orbital command centers. And the Ultra Mutiling Bane's a very hard army to deal with on such a big map, because Solar can just remax his whole army, take this base out, run back to the middle, and then he can go north, remax, blow this base up. There's just no way to cover both sides at once. ByuN is going to try and get tower control. Center control is of course, the pipe dream here. Maybe then he can hang on to everything, see the attacks coming, but it's going to be hard. Yeah, I only found about autocast hotkey maybe like 3-4 years ago. Here we go, Bio coming forward on the right side. Lings and Ultras running in. Got to be careful, those Widow Mines. ByuN's Widow Mines have mostly been traitors today, I feel like. Hasn't really got that many crazy good Widow Mines on the Zerg. Widow Mine unable to fire. The Muta's tearing up his rally point right now. ByuN's max, man. Needs to send Marines back to clear this up. These Mutalisks are just so annoying. So good at dragging the Terran's attention away. Ooh, nice snipe on the Widow Mine before it fires. That Widow Mine! Ooh, we got a few really good Widow Mines there. Cast a curse, guys. Talking about how his Widow Mines weren't popping off against Solar at all, and they get a few big juicies there. Bunch of Banelings went down. 5,000 resources lost in the difference. Solar still has a bigger bank, and of course, in a map like this, burrowed infestors are the GOAT. There's so much ground to cover. He can't have turrets or ravens everywhere. You can so easily catch his army in the open with burrowed fungal. Solar's not thinking about it. He's focused on the big kind of mobile Mutiling Bane Ultra army. If he realized just how strong infestors were on this map, he would absolutely smash ByuN out of this game in the next minute or two. ByuN's going to go Fusion Core for Liberators. He wants to play Lib-Range rather than Ghosts. Pig, we're going to need a few more of those caster curses for ByuN to win this game. If he can sneak a dropship down the bottom or a few libs into the bases while Solar's out on the map, that could be really big. There's 12 Mutas still on the map. I think you should swap those for Corruptors at this point. A bit more of a tankier unit, a bit more robust. Nice push on the north, drop in the south, not quite able to get the hatchery. Trying to punish on the north while all those units are out of position, but Solar patiently just going in and out, trying to bait ByuN too deep, and he takes out so many Marauders and Thors. What a push. Planetary does defend on this side, but only momentarily. The Ultras gather up. ByuN getting overrun. So hard to fight Ultraling Bane on big mobile maps, guys. But ByuN actually gets a hatchery kill. I did not think that would happen. I'd love him to leave this drop. I think if that drop just loops back and goes and drops this base, could be a nice distraction, but I think he realizes he needs to gather at home. He has 20 Marines, 8 Marauders, and 8 Widow Mines. It's a tiny army compared to the Zerg Swarm. Solar has so many more bases he can take as well. Oh, the Ultraling Bane looping around from both sides. Getting all over it. He's going to get in the natural and the third and the rally point as well. The Marauder's trying to snake around these command centers. There's just too much Zerg. At this point, every one of ByuN's shots needs to take down a dozen Zerg units to equalize the number count. The Banelings blowing up half of that mineral line. The third base is getting absolutely overrun at the same time. And ByuN is going to be getting 3-0'd in this series. Just last week, the week before, they had 2 epic 3-2 series where it felt very evenly matched. But today, Solar has ran away with this series and overwhelmed him. Obviously, a cross map here. Kind of tragic. I think with the way ByuN played the first 10 minutes of this game, if Solar spawned in the top right or the bottom left, I think ByuN wins this game and actually makes a comeback at least to game 5. Maybe he doesn't win the series, but I think he gets momentum back. Cross map, though, it's just so difficult. Because if he was top right, you expand towards him. Solar only has one direction he can expand. As it is, and there's a parade that gets right to your natural. As it is, like, ByuN pushes through this vast middle. Solar can expand to both sides, can counterattack anywhere he wants. Just a difficult ask for ByuN. I'm really impressed with how well he played. Cross-map TVZ against Mutiling Bane. A nightmare matchup. ByuN still makes it close. GG well played, though. Solar goes to the grand finals.